Arr! There be pirates on these roads. Hardy har har har.
This is the Arundel County, Maryland Police Department 2023 to 2024 school bus camera report. I'll try to get through this quick and not through the weeds. It's a short report, but there's a few things I wanted to highlight on it. Okay, first part, Maryland Transportation Article TA 21-706, that's passing a stop school bus. Full disclosure, I am not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. Again, I'm just reading and going through some things and pointing out some details. So 21-706 is passing a stop school bus. Well, it's got its signals out, loading, unloading. Go ahead and read that for yourself if you need to. And TA 21-706.1, that's the law that allows a camera to be strapped to a bus, enforced through the camera, but it's no longer like a citation where you're mandated to go to court. Instead, it's a civil penalty. So you pay it, it goes away. If you don't pay it, I believe Maryland can hold it against your registration of your vehicle. What is the ATEU staff looking for on a violation? I'm going to go ahead and throw a few things out here to get spun up. Please watch lessons 1 through 5. I'll put them down into the description, and you can see why there might be a lot of confusion. Arundel County is close to Fort Meade, meaning you have a lot of military in the area from all over the nation, all with different school bus requirements for stopping. But also Maryland has a law 22-228 that they never adjusted when they passed the camera law that will cut a driver off at the knees from being able to safely come to a stop. These are my opinions if the minimums are executed. So here goes. So they pause the video at the moment the red light indicator goes on and the bus is fully stopped. Maryland law 22-228 subsection D, I believe, requires a bus only give 100 feet of amber light, and by law it's required to immediately deploy its red lights when it comes to rest. The Maryland Commercial Driver's License Manual 10.2.1 says a bus is only to deploy its red lights and stop arm when vehicles are a safe distance. That puts it onto the bus driver. But again, the law reads different. And they're also checking to make sure that you are approximately 20 feet ahead or behind the bus, and that could be a violation. So take 100 feet minus 20 feet, that's 80 feet. And to put that in context, Lesson 2 has a beautiful chart. If you're going over 25 miles per hour on the approach, you have a bus also closing the distance. It means you won't be given the perception reaction time to actually come to the stop. Witness the yellow light amber warning indicator illuminated well before the red indicator in the video. Like I said, that yellow and amber light notice legally can be shorter than what is required for you to come to a stop, or the video should begin with a red stop indicator already active. That's nuts. That amber light is important to make sure drivers get a fair warning, even if it is less than what is ideal. They're also checking to make sure that there is a barrier or grassy median divide. I'll put a link down below. Check Traffic Citation Trap, Maryland General Assembly. They get into little ways where there could be gaps in the divided highway to allow for left-hand turns, and if the bus lines up on that, are they considering that a violation? Just a few other things. Those are the main points on what they're looking for. Now the fun stuff, enforcement overview. So the vendor that they are using has been in Maryland for 5 years. At least 5 years, I believe. The citations reviewed, that is, so the vendor will use their AI, sift through violations, and allegedly they have, or from how they pitch it, they've got 1 or 2 people that check the violation before they give it to the police. So you have 52,270 violations that pass through the company to get to the police, but the police have only signed off on $19,317. That is a 37% approval rate. In my opinion, that could be police using hours or time fulfilling this duty when they could be doing other more crucial things. But also, to me, it feels like you've been in the state for 5 years, the company should be able to have a better approval rate, especially if you're putting it through different levels before it gets to the police. Okay, this one scared me a little. Like I said with the law before, there's a way it could cut you off at the knees. I like to call it possible legislative entrapment. However, the judges or the court hearing dispositions for this report show a very high guilty finding. So I don't know if they're just following the letter of the law exactly rather than the spirit of the law. Again, I'm not in the courtroom. All I see are these percentages of guilties. There's one other thing with this. I've seen other states, and I'm not sure about Maryland, where if people try to contest these tickets, they risk more in it. I've heard of, like I said, here we get into the hearsay. I've heard of people that have tried to contest theirs, and when they get into court or they're threatened by the prosecution to throw something harder at them, like the actual violation of passing a stop school bus, because now they can identify you. I'm not sure if that's taking place here. I know you risk points off your license in some states and possible insurance reporting if you try to contest these. I think Pennsylvania put it in their law so that wouldn't happen. And finally, school bus camera fine revenue shares. So, gross revenue, we'll say $4.1 million. The vendor, right off the top, gets 60% of that. Then 40% goes to Anne Arundel County, but not so fast. You have a technology fee of $110,000 per month. So that has to be made per month. If it's not made, it goes into the rollover tech fee until it's made up. This contract appears to be structured so instead of paying the fee first and then the split, you do the split and the county ends up only retaining 9% of the $4.1 million or $367,000 rounding up. Go ahead and check contract money flows. I'll put the link in the description down below. That gets into a little bit more of these contracts. Okay, and again, 600 school buses. That's how many of these have the equipment on them. And finally, the 15 highest insurance locations in 2023-2024. These are the 15 highest citation points in Anne Arundel County. I believe some of them doubled up, and other ones kind of presented themselves as just a state route when you put in the address. I tried to do definite addresses I could find in the maroon color, and then if it pulled itself to just like a route or a road, just to be safe, I went ahead and put it in yellow or blue. So let's go ahead and look at some of these. We'll start down here. And Anne Arundel County is south of Baltimore, north of Annapolis, or butts up right against the north side of Annapolis. So let's start with Annapolis. I've gone ahead and zoomed us into the south part of Anne Arundel County that connects into Annapolis here. You have the United States Naval Academy, and the 3 highest ticketed points are right here in these more densely populated areas. Now remember, in Maryland you have 3 things going against you. Keep in mind that you only have 100 feet of amber light notice. The buses by law are required to immediately engage the red lights when they come to a stop, which makes it a citation field. And what we're going to really check out here is the infrastructure behind some of these high ticket areas. So the first one we'll do is, I believe, 700 Bestgate Road. Now this one was common up north. A lot of communities that have 4 lanes with a center turn are usually high ticket roads. I believe that they're well traveled, but you also get multiple lanes between you and the bus that could obstruct your view. to see what the bus is doing with its signals, but it's also moving at the same time you are. So your center vision might be more focused forward than wide, especially if some of these roads have speeds of up to 45 miles an hour. The faster you move, the tighter your center vision gets. As you can see here, it is a 4-lane road with a center turn. The next ticket area is going to be 2500 Riva Road. This one's a little more complex. You've got an intersection, a multi-lane intersection. Again, lots of lanes. Commercial area. There's plenty of places, in my opinion, where a bus could pull off of the route to pick up children and then get back onto the route. That would not cause vehicles to have to stop or obstruct these flows of traffic. And then you have some offset angles here. It's not a perfect T section. It's got a slight bend on it. 100 Defense Highway is our third location, and this one is just total chaos. You've got 3+ lanes of traffic moving in and out of this clustered area. These offshoots usually keep flowing, so you have constant movement that you need to pay attention to, and then you're expected to see a bus set up somewhere around here loading and unloading children, while you're also trying to pay attention to the signal system navigating all these cars. The next area we're going to look at is, I believe, Amberfield. And this one wasn't special, but it sets up a common theme. You've got a main highway in which you have higher citations, and you're picking up children off that main highway when you have a perfectly good community in which you could pull the buses off of the main route. And there's enough room there that they could probably come up here if this is where they're being picked up. And a nice little roundabout. In and out, the bus doesn't have to back up, and you don't obstruct all these flows of traffic on Crane Highway. Again, heavy commercial area. Moving to the north end of Arundel County, just south of Baltimore, on Annapolis and Vanguard Road, you could possibly pull the buses into the community. They look easy to navigate, but it looks as though they've set up right here. And you've got multiple lanes of traffic going in and out, center turn lanes, but nobody decided to build a center divide here. This is 7,700 Quarterfield Road. Same theme set up. Really wide roads. No divided highways. 7,600 Baltimore Annapolis Boulevard. Close to an interstate. Commercial area, light commercial it looks like. Even heard of them deploying the stop arms right when the lights turn green. So do your best where you can and when you can.